the biggest retail customers in the world, I've got them on my phone. And I can say this because I've worked across multiple different brokerages, and understanding what someone with millions in their accounts does and what someone with a $20 account does, it's fascinating. And it's fascinating because everyone does the same.
Oh no, I was not expecting that.
It does not make it different how many zeros you've got in your bank account, right? And so I really, I looked at this, and when you start in this industry, they tell you, oh, use this indicator and read this book and buy my course, and this is the holy grail. Everyone is always telling you this is the holy grail, this is how you're going to get rich, right? And you realize that it's actually, a lot of people try and tell you it's about the preparation before the trade and when to pull the trigger and when to get out, right? But to me, the most interesting thing and what I've observed is the time when you're live in a trade. What happens there, right? Why? Because that's when human psychology kicks in and emotions, right? If you don't know how to control your emotions, you can be the best strategist and planning your trades, all of that, and you will mess it up, right? And then stuff like, psychology, there's a concept called loss aversion. Right? Loss aversion basically means that we as humans avoid a loss at all costs, and it hurts us much more than a gain. So if you lose $100, it hurts you a lot more than making $100, the euphoria that you get from that, right? So psychology and emotions, I now analyzed across my client base and looked at thousands of different accounts. And the people that I'm speaking to, the millionaires and billionaires that I manage personally, they have the same issue, right? For them, it's not about, okay, I want to make 10 grand. They want to make $1 million or 2 million, right? But in these high pressure kind of situations when, they're up massively, right? And they told me before, like, I'm going to close when I make 100 grand. And they get to 95,000 and they remove the profit target and they just said,
let's see.
This one, I'm going to make $1 million now. And why do they do that? Because they just had 3 trades where they lost, right? And they want to make up. It's a revenge trade. They want to make up for it, and they want to,
probably.
Greed. They're going to get attached to it like their baby, right? This is the trade that is going to make me rich, right? And they stay in the position. So greed affected their decision. Or when the market is going against them, they're like, I'm going to watch the market. I'm not going to put any risk management, any stop loss in anymore. I'm just going to watch it. I'm here anyways the whole night. And then Trump said something, the market tanks, and the whole account is blown because you just ignored what you're going to do. So the psychological aspect and the emotions is my most interesting thing. And what separates, it's not so much about someone that has been there 6 months or 12 months or 18 months. You can be there for 5 years and still make the same mistakes, right? What separates the people that are successful from the people that are not successful is that they can control their emotions and they follow a very simple kind of concept, right? I have a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 3, right? I'm going to risk $100 per trade. I'm going to look to make $300-400 per trade, right? I only need to be 25% of the time I need to be right. The other 75% I can be wrong and still break even, right? If I have a better success rate, I'll make money, right? People don't think about trading as a business. They think it's a hobby, right? And if you treat it like a hobby, you're going to have mediocre results. 1 month you're going to be up, the next month you're going to destroy your account. That's not how, if you want to make money in the market, how it's going to work. The same as you wouldn't open a restaurant if you had no idea about, how to create a menu, where to get a location, how to do operations, all of that. You invest time into learning it, right? Just in this industry, a lot of people invest time into like following a 20-year-old that supposedly has made millions and is selling you something, and at the end of the day doesn't really tell you the truth of what is really important to get good at. So I always, the conversations that I'm having is around, manage your emotions, manage your psychology. No, the problem also is loss aversion, right? What does loss aversion actually mean? If a loss hurts me double than the euphoria I get from a gain, I will avoid getting that loss by all means. That is the reason why they're removing the stop losses and letting them, they just by all means don't want to crystallize the loss. And we as men, we're worse than women because we have ego. If you have to admit that you are wrong, which is basically when you close a trade in the negative, you're wrong, right? You want to avoid this. So you have loss aversion plus ego,
Yeah.
making you take bad decisions, right? So you need to be aware of all these kind of concepts so that you can become a better trader. So one of the guys that is really successful that I know from uni days actually is a guy that is a bodybuilder, natural bodybuilder, or has been in the gym for 15 years. He's now not bodybuilding anymore. But this guy, I always told him, you know, you are so disciplined. Like 15 years, he has never missed more than four days in the gym, right? You're so disciplined. Come and bring this to trading, right? First 2 years, he went absolutely crazy because he didn't know how to control himself. And then he used the same discipline that he has there and went from nothing to now a good six-figure kind of portfolio. Literally from nothing, from $10,000 to a really sizable kind of thing. And he used stuff like NFTs and crypto to get there. But he is much more, he protects his downside. Like something that is actually different between someone as a newbie and is not a newbie. The newbie will only think about the upside. The person that has been in the market and has been burned a couple of times will now understand, oh, I shouldn't lose the whole 10,000 that I've just put in there, right? I need to give myself enough chances so that I have a successful trade that really takes me to the next kind of level.